Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the ultimate guide to zero waste periods. We're going to be talking about gender inclusivity, we're going to be talking about budgets, and we're going to try and find something for everyone. There is already so much shame out there when it comes to periods, so I really want to create a safe space here where I can find something that will work for you and we can talk about periods unfiltered. So hopefully you will find this video helpful and maybe enjoyable. As always, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up as it really supports my channel. And if you're new here, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Just a super quick thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video, but a little bit more about them later on. Grab a cup of tea guys and let's get straight into the video. So the first thing I want to talk about is reusable underwear, boxers and pants, I guess. I personally love reusable underwear because it's really helpful because my period is quite heavy on the first couple of days and I just don't necessarily feel safe just having either a tampon in or a menstrual cup in or anything like that. But also on the first day, I just prefer to bleed free. But of course this can present problems if you are masculine presenting or trans man and you have your period. You're probably not wanting to wear underwear that is designed for more feminine or femme bodies. I also forgot to add in, which you can tell I still have a lot of learning to do, that if you are a non-binary or intersex individual, you may also have the same issues with more feminine presenting underwear or masculine presenting underwear. So there are lots of different options for whatever makes you feel comfortable. So you can actually get boxers. Now I use Think period underwear, and Thinks also do boy shorts, which are quite tight. Then you also have Pyramid 7, which are just boxer briefs for periods, not genders, so anyone who feels comfortable and wants to wear them, they are perfect for you. I really love the Thinks underwear because they do have such a variety. They've got ones for sport, which I use when I do kind of HIIT training or running or cycling or things like that, and then they also have ones that are just kind of slightly nicer so you don't feel like you're wearing period underwear. Lots of people might think that period underwear is gross, and that's fine. We've got loads of other options for you throughout this video. I personally love them because I feel safer at nighttime. I feel safer than wearing a menstrual cup when I'm doing things like handstands, because if you break that seal in a handstand, that's not pleasant. I tell you that for free. They're also super easy to clean. I will put it in a kind of bucket or in a kind of sink or something just full of water just to allow some of the blood to come out, and then I put them in my normal washing machine and then I just hang up to dry. So they're really low maintenance. I know some people think that they're not, and if you think they're gross then obviously you don't have to use them, but I personally really like them and really depend on them throughout my entire period. If you are interested, I have a link to $10 off at Thinks. If you live in the UK, that just kind of equates to free shipping, but if you live in the US, then yeah, you get $10 off your first order. So I will leave the link in the description below if you want to use them. I personally, as I said before, really love them and will always recommend them. The second thing is the menstrual cup. So the reason why it's really important to get the menstrual cup right is because our bodies are all very different. Some people have a very low cervix, some people have a very high cervix. There are lots of different ways that our sort of vagina looks inside. So that's why there are lots of different shapes, ones that have long and short stems and sort of softness and thickness of material. I've actually done a whole video on how to use the menstrual cup, so I will link it up above and down below as well. And there are several ways that you can insert the cup. For example, if you have this, you have the C fold, which is literally just folding it in half and then inserting it. I prefer this one because it pops open much more easily when I do it that way. Or you can simply just pull down on the sides, and then so it makes it a very small circumference. A lot of people worry about how to get it up there, and this is how you do it, because you basically make it as small as possible in here, and then once it's inside it pops open, and there are several little holes around it that keeps it in place because they act like kind of suction. So when you take it out, it's really important to break that seal, otherwise it can be a little uncomfortable. As I said, I'll put the video above somewhere so that you can go and check that out if you want a more in-detailed video about how to use them. It's super important just to sterilize them at the beginning and the end of every cycle, because you obviously don't want it to grow any bacteria or anything like that, and they are good for about 10 years. So although they can be pricey up front, they range from about £15 to about £30 depending on which ones you get. They are a really good long-term investment, so think about how much you might spend, £2–3 a month, then just think about 10 months, that's kind of got it. It also takes a few months to get used to, so just bear that in mind as well. So the next one, for those of you who just cannot and don't want to use the menstrual cup, which is completely fine, are some organic tampons. That's also a subscription service. So they're based in the UK and they are for UK people, dwellers. And I really like them because they're women owned. They're also organic, bleach free, chemical free, and luxury tax free. That's what's really important. Luxury tax, I just can't believe that tampons are a luxury in the UK and they are taxed. It's completely absurd. No wonder we have so many issues with access to period products. So I really like OHNE. They also are a company that give back. If you are interested, I do have a code so you can check out them for free. Just a box, it's IMMYVIP. I'll put it down below as well. But as I said, it's really important that if you are using tampons, you find something that works for you, because not everyone can use the menstrual cup, not everyone wants to use the menstrual cup, and definitely don't allow anyone to shame you because their single use or a menstrual cup might be more eco-friendly or whatever. It's so important that we find what's right for us, and we don't allow people should not be shaming anyone around periods. I mean, for God's sake, like, we have so much shame around these anyway. It's really important that we really support one another and those of us who have periods. So really like OHNE. They're a subscription service, as I said, so they just come to you every month when you have your period and you don't even have to think about it. That's what I really like about them as well. It's just the kind of ease and them helping you to sort it out. If you're looking to support Black owned and women of colour owned businesses, then I came across the company Flow whilst I was editing this video. They are also a subscription service, and they're organic tampons and hypoallergenic and all that good stuff, vegan, cruelty free, but they also donate 5% of their profits to the Orchid Project and also Bloody Good Period. Bloody Good Period are a really great charity that help asylum seekers and refugees to get period products. Period poverty affects, or disproportionately affects, Black women, women of colour, trans men and trans men of colour in the UK disproportionately. So it's really important that we not only, help, if we can, are in a position to support companies that are also helping to eradicate period poverty, because it is a major issue that we need to be talking about, and I'm going to be doing another whole video on that soon. I wanted to also offer you another tampon brand that are worldwide and also very affordable, and that's NaturCare. I think a box of 16 tampons is about £2. They are, again, chlorine free, perfume free, and organic, and I think it's really important to note that things are perfume and fragrance free. You don't want to put things with fragrances inside you. Think about what that could do to your pH and all that kind of stuff. I want anything that goes inside me to be as natural as possible. So definitely really consider that when you are thinking about tampons. That's why OHNE is really great, but they are more expensive because they are a subscription service. But then NaturCare are also a cheaper option if you also don't live in the UK and you don't care about it being a subscription, so you can just go to the shop. They are a really great company to support, and yeah, they're just another option for those of you who want to use tampons and can't or don't want to use a menstrual cup. So the next thing I want to talk about are reusable pads. These aren't necessarily my favourite thing because they do move a little bit, and also ones with buttons are quite uncomfortable when I cycle, but I always get comments from you guys saying that you love reusable pads and it would be a disservice not to share them with you. I personally like these ones, which are kind of H shape, so you can kind of fold them around your pants, and they work just like period underwear, just except they're not part of the underwear, they just sit on top. So if you think about period underwear and pads, they do essentially the same thing, they just sit differently. And as you said, like you guys do, a lot of you guys do really love these. So I don't have a preference in terms of company because I don't really use them anymore. I will use these ones just because I have them, but they're not particularly comfortable for me personally. But it also, again, will depend on the brand because they differ dramatically in shape, in size, and how they clip on, etc. There's definitely, I will put some links down below to some other videos or some other companies that I know do some really great ones. But as I said, for me personally, because they move around a little bit, they're not my favourite, but definitely a lot of people do love them, and they are a really great alternative to disposable pads if you can afford to buy some. So that leads me on to the next thing, which is some disposable pads that are plastic free but also a really great company. And that is again NaturCare. And it's because again they're plastic free, perfume free and chlorine free, and they're also plastic free. Oh, I said that already. And it's because like these are about £2.50 I think for 30, so that's obviously a lot for the price range, and they just come in a cardboard box. They're vegan approved, they've got an ethical award, USDA approved, etc. And these are available all around the world, and they're certified organic cotton cover as well. So if you're someone that doesn't like reusable pads or would prefer not to bear the brunt of the upfront cost of them, then these are definitely a better option, because a lot of ones do carry plastic. It means they're a lot more problematic when disposing of. So I would recommend. Which lets you move on to something that I discovered quite recently. What do you think this is? This is a reusable tampon applicator, and it might sound a bit bizarre. A lot of people can't or really don't want to insert the tampons with their fingers. They actually need an applicator. And before you say no, people don't, yes, some people definitely do. And I think it's important that again we help people with their periods to do the best that they can for what they need. So this basically just works like any other applicator. You simply put the tampon in here and then you just push it up like this and it goes in and inserts, and that's basically it. And you've inserted it and then just give it a rinse afterwards. The whole purpose of this is some people really can't use cardboard applicators and really do rely on plastic ones, and obviously that creates a hell of a lot of waste. So this can really help to reduce waste if you do use just the little ones without an applicator and just insert that way. That's pretty much it. This is from Dame. Dame are a really great company based in the UK, and they also do vegan certified tampons that come in just this regular box, but they are more expensive. They're about £3.50, £3.75 I think, for non-applicator tampons, about 14, so they're more expensive than NaturCare. But as I said, this is like £25, so it depends if you want to spend that amount of money, depends on how important applicator is for you, but I just wanted to give it here as an option just in case for anyone who wanted it. It was there. And then it also has this little lid. It looks like that. The next thing is a menstrual sponge. I don't have one because the idea of them they're not really my fancy, but they are available. I think they just kind of act like a tampon. You just insert it and it soaks up all the blood, you take it out and you rinse it, etc. I don't know much about them, to be honest, so I'm just going to leave a link below to an article that really talks about it more in depth. So if you are interested in trying out a menstrual sponge, then I will put it down below. The next thing I wanted to talk about are some menstrual cup wipes. I personally don't use these because I don't necessarily need to. My menstrual cup can hold a whole day's worth of blood for me. However, if you're going to a festival or you're going camping, or you kind of work somewhere and you're using public restrooms and things like that, these can be really good to clean your menstrual cup if you're wanting to, like having to change it throughout the day. Because sometimes obviously, you know, if the sinks are communal, you don't want to go out there, rinse out your cup in front of people and then take it back to the loo with you. So these cups can be great for just giving it a wipe to clean it. However, I do want to note that like water is perfectly fine. These aren't essential or necessary unless you're in a really sticky situation like camping, or as I said, at a festival where you don't really have that great access to really clean ways of cleaning your cup. But you can obviously, if you're just out and about, give it a wipe with plain tissue paper and then wash it properly when you get home at night time. But I just wanted to give them an option, as they are a product that's out there that could be helpful in certain situations. These ones are from Lunette, which actually make this menstrual cup that I use, but I'm sure there are loads out there. I don't really have a preference for a specific company when it comes to this. The next thing, this might work for you, this might not. I think it's only like 70% of people. I just completely took that stat from out of my arse. So let's let's not say that. I definitely heard somewhere that this works for a lot of people, but it also doesn't work for a lot of people. So I just wanted to offer it as an option in case it does work for you. And these are CBD oil drops for those of you who it does work for. It can actually help relieve period cramps, and it can also, to be honest, help relieve some stress as well. But I just wanted to give it as an option in case, in case it was something that could be really helpful. You can also obviously just use your bog standard painkillers, so up to you, my friends. But yeah, I like this one, to be honest. Even if it's a placebo effect, it definitely makes me feel better during my period when it comes to my cramps, but there it is. And the last thing, I've just reserved this book at the library, can't wait to read it, but it's called Period Power, and I wanted to offer this as a kind of essential guide in here because I think it's really important that we educate ourselves on periods and who has periods and why it's important to understand our fertility and our cycles and things like that, to have a best experience as we possibly can. If, like me, on the first day of your period you just can't drag yourself out of bed and you feel like the whole world is jabbing you in the stomach and just ripping things out of your womb, well, then you know how I feel. And it's, you know, nice to be able to read about your period and understand it a bit more. So I would recommend Period Power, even though I haven't read it yet, because a lot of people have read it and told me that it is amazing. Like, people have genuinely said it is life-changing. So I'm putting it on there presumptuously to trust you guys who have said to me that it's great. But no, I have heard from a lot of people that it is a really wonderful book, and also Kenny Ethan Jones talked about it and said it was wonderful, so I think he's great, so I'll probably think this book is great too. As I said, everything I've mentioned I will leave in the links below so that you can get $10 off at Thinks, or if you want a free box of OHNE, I will leave it down there as well, and also just everything that I've listed as a helpful guide. I want to say thank you to Squarespace again for sponsoring today's video. Squarespace gives people a powerful and beautiful online platform from which to create your website, and it has powerful blogging tools to tell your story, share your updates, and post photos and videos. If you didn't know, I actually host my website with Squarespace so I can show off my photography as well as some helpful tips to live more sustainably. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/sustainablyvegan to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. If you are interested, you should definitely watch my Menstrual Cup video because it talks much more in depth about how to use them properly and clean it and just, you know, all of that fun stuff. If you like this video, as I said before, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very, 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 very soon. If you have any questions about anything I've talked about in this video, please leave them down below. Okay, bye!